Hokey fantasy religions and ancient weapons are no match for a good science fiction weapon at your side. Intrepid science fiction characters need to be well armed in their, totally peaceful mission of exploration. Exploring new worlds to discover new life and new civilizations goes a lot smoother if you walk softly and carry a big photon torpedo, set phasers to copy so we can plunder some cool science fiction weapons for our setting. Now, what future weapon of war should we start with first? Something classic. Death Ray? No, too classic. I got it. We all know that future battlefields will be dominated by lasers. Lasers are great weapons that suffer only a few drawbacks. No, not real problems like thermal blooming or finding a sufficiently compact power source so the future trooper isn't lugging around an extension cord. No, the problem with lasers is that while moving at the speed of light, they are super easy to dodge by the main characters. And despite having laser precision shot grouping, are very inaccurate since the bad guys can't seem to hit anyone with them. Also, lasers have a really powerful kick despite a complete lack of kinetic force when firing. Writers should avoid using lasers for boring realistic military applications like point defense against explosive projectiles or as a non-lethal stun weapon. Lasers not got enough punch? I think I'll use plasma weapons instead. A plasma weapon is simply a superheated beam or bolt of high energy matter that is hot enough to transition from gas to matter's fourth state, plasma. How is this energy contained and directed? Space science stuff, obviously. It's just like real-life plasma torches. That should stop those critical emails from hard sci-fi nuts. Plasma weapons too sophisticated? Or maybe you don't like watching your Imperial Guardsmen explode. Then why not try some good old-fashioned railguns? Using electromagnetic force to propel projectiles along a rail, hence railgun, is actually a weapon we have in real life. Seriously, the Navy has one. This is great for near-future settings. Unfortunately, near-future settings are also incapable of miniaturization, hence why railguns are relegated to starships only. Infantry and ground vehicles will have to make do with old-fashioned ballistics, so the author doesn't have to get out of their comfort zone. They haven't developed a power source compact enough to power small arms-sized railgun weapons. Just ignore those lasers we're using alongside our ballistic weapons. Their battery's different, okay? We can't have our science fiction weapons get too crazy. Armies of the future should still be shooting conventional missiles at one another, even if point defense technology makes them worthless. We need to keep things understandable for the modern audience. Sometimes our weapon design requires only a subtle touch, like a giant robot. Nothing is more subtle than that. Our giant robot is the ultimate weapon of war, as it has no equals on the battlefield, even as it sinks into the soil thanks to ground pressure. Smaller drones and supporting roles or integrating AI into conventional vehicles won't work because none of those are as cool as a giant robot. What? Those boring tanks with their low profile and sloped armor just trashed my giant robot. How? A single shot sent my giant robot's internal structure collapsing in on itself. Oh, I see. The dreaded square cube law strikes again. I should have built my giant robot out of Contrivium. That would make my giant robot invincible. Nothing can hurt it. If only we had some kind of super weapon to stop the enemy giant robot. Like a big explosive of some kind. Like a weapon that wields the power of atomic energy to produce an unparalleled destructive force. Alas, I know of no such technology that has existed since 1945 that could do such a thing. If such a terrible destructive weapon did exist, then an author should probably create an effective countermeasure to make sure future space battles don't turn into nuke fights. Come to think of it, I could probably add some super weapons. Super weapons that should be powerful enough to destroy entire planets. This large and expensive weapon of mass destruction will be hyper advanced and truly huge in scale. The destructive potential of this weapon is only matched by the staggering resource requirements in order to build and maintain it. It really is too bad they don't have access to that aforementioned technology from 1945. Nuking a planet from orbit would be a lot cheaper than maintaining a moon-sized space station. Same goes for the rebels, who have to resort to daring space fighter raids to destroy superweapons rather than firing a few nukes at the enemy doom station and calling it a day. Then again, I can't really think of any real-life examples of super expensive military projects that the enemy just finesses their way past. Wait, I think I'm forgetting something. Oh, right. Even though I gave my futuristic military forces weapons, I should also give them some clever tactics as well. Now with all these lasers, missiles, plasma bolts, and super weapons mounted on giant robots being thrown around, our forces should carefully use the very cunning tactic of bunching up and charging at the enemy in a big mob. Clustering troops is a great idea when the enemy's using explosive area of effect weapons. Air support, armored columns and open terrain, combined arms operations, all of that is unneeded. Having both sides formulate a strategy before tactically deploying their forces is dumb because then the heroes can't swoop in at the last minute and single-handedly turn the tide of battle. Bonus points if the hero uses a science fiction themed sword in a setting with primarily ranged weapons. What author's dumb enough to do that? Swords are cool, so a sci-fi writer should have no hesitation when adding them into a futuristic setting, even if they have no way of nullifying ranged firepower. Personal deflector shields would just cramp the good guy's style. Can't have that. Gotta kill that red shirt somehow. So now we have an arsenal of high-tech weapons for our science fiction setting. Our forces are made up of endless legions armed with missiles, lasers, and plasma weapon systems. Our generals now only use the latest cutting-edge tactics to obtain total battlefield superiority. Superweapons rule space while giant robots dominate planet-side. This military force has no equal. Nothing can defeat them. Well, except for alien primitives armed with sticks and stones. Can't bomb them into the Stone Age because they are already there. Even though high-tech armies are maintained by logistical networks that allow for combat on a planetary scale, they will still lose outright to freaking tiny tribes of cavemen that haven't even made their first wheel. I guess sheer pluck gives them the knowledge on how to effectively wage a guerrilla war against an enemy that outnumbers them in the billions. Unfortunately, high-tech weapon systems and futuristic armies are simply no match against primitive alien tribes armed with nothing more than their quick wits, some cool alien monsters, and a few trusty stone tools. Better luck next time, military-industrial complex.
You said I would do all of your sponsor reads.
I am altering the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further.
Hey, that's a pretty good line, actually. I think I'll save that one for later.
No! Always have reverb for something.
None of that matters now, pathetic love triangle man. All of this channel's sponsors are now mine, including today's. I shall possess the power of Audible. We simply allow you to think that, all according to plan. Oh great, it's you ancient conspiracy guys again. I see you have returned to haunt me. I'm not a ghost, this is a hologram. We used them to fake the moon when the astronauts landed on it. Those fools were none the wiser. Didn't the last of you die by my hand? We got better. More importantly, I see you have another sponsor lined up. My sponsor? Do you even know what Audible is? Of course I know what an of course I know what it is. Clearly you could use some real-time intel. As it turns out, my organization possesses the information you require. 80-20 split. 50-50. 70-30. Done. Excellent. Now what's an Audible? Easy. Audible is... hang on a minute. Hey guys, anyone know what Audible is? Is it anything like a Walkman or Betamax? Okay, Grandpa. Stop calling me Grandpa and just answer the question. Let me put you on hold for a moment.
Sometime later.
Okay, we abducted some schmo off the street and tortured him until he broke, and he told us everything. We learned that Audible is an online service that provides an unmatched collection of audiobooks. Books? Oh, I know what those are. Those are those things I burn when I conquer new lands. Can't have the peasantry getting too educated. You can access your audiobook from a free app for iPhone, iPad, Android, and Windows Phone. It's great for multitasking, as you can listen to a book while performing a separate task like driving, exercising, secretly pulling the strings of world leaders, or some other menial chore. I can listen on my phone? Great! You have a phone? How? You live in a fantasy world. I got it from some tribe of Amazons. Okay, then why don't you recommend a book you enjoyed? I love Paradise Lost. I really like that Angel of Light guy. I really identify with him for some reason. Yeah, I bet you do. Go to audible.com/terrible or text terrible to 500-500. That's audible.com/TERRIBLE or text TERRIBLE to 500 and get a 30-day trial and be rewarded with a free audiobook. Now it's time for your reward, Dark Lord. Curses! Yes, I am betraying you now. Not that. I was going to say I'm altering the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further. That's from Star Wars. Besides, my betrayal line is much cooler than yours. No, it isn't. Yes, it is. No, it isn't. Yes, it is.
Wow, so I just hit 200k subscribers. Thank you, everyone. That is 200k more subs than I thought I would have. Again, thank you everyone who subscribed and left ratings and comments. Those are always appreciated. I hope to see you again soon.